Obviously, every post is part of a category, and we already dealt with recategorizing them and putting them into their proper categories. So now we're going to look at how to actually manage those categories. So not surprisingly, all categories are maintained under categories. And when you go to the categories page, you'll see a long listing of all the categories. Again, with this, there's 5 pages because we have 92 categories or some such. So searching is a great way to find a particular category if you want to move through this page really quickly. If you want to add a new category, you just put the name. You don't even need to bother putting a slug because it'll create a smart one for you. You give it a parent if you want one. Categories are hierarchical, meaning generally speaking they have a parent. So if we look at the live site here, you'll actually see About Us is the parent of Mission, Mission is the parent of History and Corporate Documents and Logos, News is the parent of Media Center, etc., etc. So if we do go to the What We Do page, for example, you can see where all this information is coming from. So what we do is the category title here, and this here is the description, and this is the image that's attached to it. All categories have a title, a description, and an image. And below this, you can see all the subcategories. So below grants and awards, below what we do, we have grants and awards, advocacy, and each of these has an image, a title, and a description. So this is where you go to add new ones, but generally speaking, you'll probably want to be editing the existing ones, so I'm going to work with that one. So let's say I wanted to edit Mission. So I'm going to not do it that way. I'm going to go to the edit screen. And this will allow me to change the title, the slug. You probably don't need to worry about the slug at least. I can move it to a different parent category if I want. I can change the text here, and I can also change the image. So if I want to, say I want to delete the image, I would just delete and then it disappears. Though apparently that won't work effectively. Alternatively, perhaps I want to upload a new one. Every category should have an image, otherwise the website will look horrible. So I definitely want to upload a new one. And you'll recognize this screen from uploading other things. But just select files. Actually, instead of this, I'm going to show you how to use the media library, because that can be a good way of using files that you've already uploaded. So obviously you can upload an image file like you've already done before, but if you want to do it another way, you can use the media library and look at the images you've already uploaded to the website. Now, if you go here, you'll see there's 244 images uploaded to the site, and you can search through them and browse through them. You can search by date. You can search for the title. So let's say I want to use this image of people planting trees. I would just click on Show, and it gives you the same sort of screen you get when you upload an image at first. Select full size because you want these images to be as large as possible. And then associate with Mission. It'll say associating. And then when it says that, you're done, and you can just close this, and you'll see that image associated with the category. Now, in order to save all these changes, you would just hit Update. I'm going to leave it because I don't want to lose the originals. But that's basically how you work with categories. Now, the one thing about categories is this here is controlled by the category hierarchy. The subcategories are all displayed based on their category or the category organization within WordPress. So if you look here, you'll see grants and awards is before advocacy, and perhaps we want advocacy to appear before grants and awards. In order to change the orders, we need to go to Taxonomy Order. And this allows us to see all of the hierarchy of categories in one spot and move them around as necessary. Now, you can't actually move it outside of its parent category, but you can move around the organization within the category. So in this case, we want advocacy to appear before grants and awards. So we just scroll up to what we do, and I can see grants and awards, there's a child and advocacy. And I'm just going to take advocacy and move the whole thing up and drop it there, and that would change your order around. Again, I won't save this, but in order to save it, you would hit update. And the next time you loaded this, you would see advocacy here and grants and awards there. So that's basically category management. The only other tricky thing with this is that while these subcategories here are controlled by the category listings, the menu here and the menu you see in the sidebar is controlled by a different feature. So I'll show you how to use that now. That feature, not surprisingly, is called a menu, and you find it under the Appearance Menus panel. Now here you'll see a screen that's quite similar to what we have before, and you'll see everything in this menu is a category, and it's all arranged hierarchically. Again, you can do the same thing with this. You can just move things around by dragging and dropping them. So you can get really crazy with it. You probably don't want to, obviously, but you can arrange them as much as you need to. If you want to add a new category, what you would do is scroll down here to categories. You can select from there. This view all will give you a listing of all the categories, which again is quite long. And you can also search if you're looking for something in particular. But let's say I forgot to put neighborhoods guide in there, or I just made a new category. I would just select that, click on add to menu, and then the new neighborhoods guide link will show up at the bottom of the menu, and I just drag it to wherever I want it to appear. So perhaps I want it to appear in the job center. I can also change the title, the label that appears on it in the navigation menu if I want. So maybe I just want to say neighborhoods. It'll still link to the same thing, and if you see there and click on it, you can see exactly the page that it's linking to. Once you're happy, again, save menu, and your changes will be saved. The other important thing to talk about at this point is widgets. I'm going to say leave page because I don't want to save these changes. Widgets also appear in the appearance menu. Now, widgets are primarily for the home page and the footer that appears on every page. So I'm just going to load the home page to show you what that looks like. And here we have the home page. So you'll notice there's a lot of little areas on the home page. The only thing on this page that isn't controlled by a widget are these three boxes here, which I just couldn't do with the widget. Everything else is widgetized. Oops. So you'll see here the widgets are arranged into areas. So there's left home page, so it's sidebar, right home page sidebar, first footer area, etc., etc. So let's say I wanted to change something here. So perhaps I want this to say Alliance for Community Trees instead of ACTrees. I'm actually not sure what that should be. This should probably be ACTrees. So let's change that. So I'm going to go to widgets, and since that's in the fourth footer area here, I'll just go to fourth footer area, and then this drops down, and I can just take this, add ACTrees, and edit it like that. So I can change it around as much as I need to. When I'm happy with it, I click on save. It takes a moment to load. And then the changes will be reflected in the live website eventually. There you go. So you can see the new text. Most of these things are, fairly straightforward. Most of them are just text areas. The MailChimp widget has no options. There's a custom menu, so you can change which elements are being used there. Most of this should stay pretty much the same throughout. But again, if you want to change the text of neighborhoods month, you just go in here and edit it. Fairly straightforward. And there's a little bit more information in depth in the manual. And that should probably give you a good starting point. There's, again, more detailed information in the manual, and if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to drop me an email, and I can help you out. I hope that's helped.